Thank you. That was a little prelude hymn to start off our concert. This is our CLC concert choir in front of you. Thanks for being here. I'm going to keep things short and sweet as much as I can in between each song. So we'll get started right away with our first full-length song, a piece in Latvian called Jumalo. Do we have any Latvian speakers in the audience? Okay. That's what I thought would happen, but I really wanted to check just in case. All right. Oh, and by the way, my name is Preston Weber. I'm one of our music faculty here. But enjoy the show. We got lots of great music for you. Here we go. That one grew to be our favorite. It was my favorite when I chose it. Wasn't their favorite right away, but then I think overall, I think we grew to like it the most. You also heard some drumming by Eric Finch as well on that one. Yeah. All right. So up next for our concert choir, we have a gospel-inspired piece called City Called Heaven that will feature a few soloists. You'll hear from Kenzie, Haley, Rayanne, and Shelby as they sing a little bit of their soul out. So here we go. This is City Called Heaven. Now I'm questioning if Yumalo was really my favorite after doing that one. All right, we're going to change styles very drastically, going from gospel spiritual back to the classical music era and singing some Mozart for you. This piece is called Pleasure Awaits Us. It's from a Mozart opera in Italian. We're singing in English, but the opera is originally in Italian. And the opera is called The Pretend Gardener, and this song is about just the joys of a nice summer's garden. All right. It already brings us to our last piece of this group's performance tonight. Before we do that, I do want to say a few things. So first, thank you, everyone here, all you singers. Thank you, Sarah. It's been really a pleasure to sing and make music with this group of people every day. And it's a privilege that I'm very grateful for, and it's just an honor to be your teacher and to make music with you. So thank you, everybody. Also, in this choir, we have several graduates who will be graduating this year, and I'd like to recognize them. We'll clap for them all at the end. Just give a little wave. So graduating with their AA degree, we have Elena, a little wave, and Riley, and Danica. Graduating with her Music Associate of Fine Arts degree is Rayanne. And also graduating from Brainerd High School is Brody. So let's give them a round of applause for their accomplishments. And also, there's another person on stage that deserves a little recognition, and that would be Sarah Gorham our pianist. This is Sarah's last year. She is retiring as accompanist for CLC choirs after this concert. She's been accompanying them for many years. I don't know how many. I don't know if you want to. 26. Okay. Well, it's a good time to say that. So for 26 years, she's been here playing with the choir. You've played on the stage for many, many more. Yes. And so I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you, Sarah. I appreciate who you are and all the help you are in rehearsal. We also have a little gift for you. So we'll bring that out on stage. Oh, here it is. Wonderful. Good timing. Sarah, you deserve it and much more. But you're not off the hook yet. We got one song left. Yeah. But it's a fitting one to end on, I think, for Sarah. This is Elton John's Your Song. Afterwards, there'll be a transition before the next group comes on, so just sit tight if you need to grab a drink or use the restroom. While the next group is getting set up, that is okay. But we've got lots more music to enjoy, and thank you very much for being here. Here's our last piece, Your Song.
Good job, Shelby.
I already have one.
Ian wrong.
Didn't Mike get one?
Oh yeah, Mike got it.
Right here.
Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Jonathan LaFlamme, and I have the distinct pleasure of being with this wonderful group of musicians with an ensemble that we started with 7 people just a few years ago when we launched our degrees, and we really have enough talent to really have 2 jazz ensembles, but we have so much fun. And if you notice, I'm not helping at all. They don't need a director anymore, so I asked if I could just join along with in the back there. So that was Boplicity by Miles Davis, and we featured on that song, first time playing the tenor saxophone, Jamie McCurry. Give it up for Jamie, a music major. Yeah, Jamie. We have a lot to celebrate with this ensemble. And then in the back that you heard on the trumpet, that was the actual solo played by Miles Davis in the original release of the tune that he learned by ear and did not use any sheet music to help him. And that was Zachary Veen. Nice job, Zach. And tickling the ivories, you're going to hear him a lot. Wonderful piano player, Jeffrey. Give it up for Jeffrey on piano. We're going to switch genres. We're going to try to give you as many flavors as we can this evening, and we're going to play for you a piece of music that is a reggae piece. And this piece is Que Pasa. It's going to feature lots of soloists. I'll introduce them after. We hope you enjoy our version of Que Pasa.
One, two, three, four.
All right. Isn't it fun to just, I mean, the notes and everything look the same on the music, but then we have all these different styles. So that was Dominic right here, one of our first-year music majors on trombone. Give it up for Dominic. Yeah. Another first-year music major, Annika, on flute. That was a nice flute solo. Two more of the same class. We got a really strong freshman class, and that's Alex on saxophone and Eric on saxophone. Yeah. Jeffrey again on piano and Matt on electric guitar. Congratulations. Nice solo. We're gonna play a straight ahead tune. That means just a straight ahead, not just, but a very beautiful. And lots of contrast. In jazz, we have so many parts of a chord, not just like the root, the third, and the fifth, right? Like da dee da, right? But they just keep going at a 7, a 9, and maybe a 13, and then some maybe non-harmonic tones as well. So you're going to hear a lot of different sounds and a lot of great articulation and movement. This is swing, swang, swung. Wasn't that fun? That was Mike Bender on the tenor saxophone. Give it up for Mike, everybody. And again, Jamie on the tenor saxophone. Way to go, Jamie. All right, this next piece of music is a really beautiful piece, and what's extraordinary about it is it's going to change time quite a bit. It's going to feature Zachary Veen on the trumpet. It's going to feature Eric Hebert on the alto saxophone, but I also really want you to pay attention to, it's going to feature Eric Finch on the drum set. And Eric came to us from Colorado and actually brought some beautiful change with him. Eric had never had any formal training on an instrument and just decided to roll with it. And, well, everything you've heard so far is by someone who didn't play a drum set until this fall. Give it up for Eric Finch on it. So much progress that it's really changed me in my philosophy and the thought that someone needs to audition to be a music major. Well, what if they never had the opportunity to play until they were rolling in through our doors? And so I was recently on a panel for music education, and you know, since then I was asked what's the number one thing that you know, students struggle with in learning and so forth and so on, or issue of music education. I think it's placing limits on what someone can and cannot do, whether that be the director or even with the best of circumstances, the best of philosophy or intentions, but a fear of too much of a challenge maybe for an ensemble, and then also the negotiations that individuals make with themselves, right? I'm only this good, or I only have this much potential. And so we're going to constantly move that bar forward. We hope you enjoy this brilliant Latin piece, La Virgen de Macarena. How about one more time for our soloist there, Zach Veen on trumpet. Eric Hebert on alto saxophone. And just in case you were counting, that was 4/4 time, 3/4 time, cut time, 5/4 time, back to cut time to the end. By I think the most valuable rookie here, Eric Finch on drum set. Stand up, Eric. That was awesome. On this next piece of music, we're going to feature Connor Duff, on the alto saxophone, and we're going to feature a vocalist that has sang with not just this group, but also the Central Lakes Jazz Orchestra. Would you please welcome to the stage Levi Trigstad.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than green? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay.
All right, let's give it up one more time for Levi. Don't worry, you'll get to hear him again on this next one. It's also his birthday. How about we sing to him, huh? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Levi. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Great. This last piece that we're going to play for you is actually a current band that's out and touring called Trombone Shorty, a personality in his band. And this piece is called Buck Jump. It's a nice, fun funk tune. We're going to feature a lot of people on this tune. So before we do that, I just want to acknowledge our seniors that will be graduating and taking off here to all kinds of wonderful, fun places. Okay, we got Levi, our birthday boy. He's graduating, going to Morehead State. Levi, stand up. Come on, that's good. William, who just stood up, is graduating also, and he's going to Augsburg College to continue studying in music. That's fantastic. And yes, give it up for, absolutely, please do, please. And another music major in this group that is graduating, moving on to NDSU, and that is Zach Veen on trumpet. Give it up for Zach. Also graduating with his music technology degree, already has a job before he graduated, moving up the ladder at CTC, and that is Cameron Gliatone on the sousaphone. Give it up for Cameron. I'm just going to say we're going to feature a lot of people on this last tune. We hope you enjoy Buck Jump. Give it up for the Raider Jazz Collective. Almost all of these same musicians are now going to change hats, and we're going to switch to classical symphonic music, and we're going to bring out my beloved friend, Mr. Preston Weber, and we hope you enjoy the third act, the Raider Concert Wins. Thank you. Preston, do you need a microphone other than the big one? Just the wireless?
All right, that first piece was 4 movements from Peer Gynt's Suite. It's music from a Norwegian play. That last one that is In the Hall of the Mountain King, that's a very famous, I'm sure many of you or all of you recognized it. And so there's a lot of music there. We're gonna change things up a bit now, moving away from Norway down to Spain. I mean, I guess it's over across the ocean, still over there, but a little different flavor. And before we play that, I should introduce this group as well. So this is our Raider Concert Winds, made up of mostly students, some music majors, a lot of non-music major students as well, plus a few community members. My name is Preston Weber. You saw me on stage before with the choir. I'm here again, getting to make some more wonderful music with all these musicians on stage. We will keep the show rolling. Here is a famous Spanish march for band called Amparito Roca. In rehearsal, we often had trouble going fast enough with that piece, and I think that was the fastest we ever played it, so no problem tonight, yeah. All right, but we're gonna take a little breather here. A very beautiful lyrical piece featuring some soloists, including a bass flute. Don't get to see those too often, so enjoy it while you can. This is Smiling After the Rain. All right, this brings us to our last piece. And here is where I'd recognize our graduates, but I realize the same 4 that were recognized in the jazz band are also in this group. So could you just stand one more time? Levi, Cameron, Zach, and William. Give them a round of hand. And before we close with this last piece, I want to say thank you to all of you who come support us. It really means a lot to be able to perform this music for an audience. We've been working really hard on it, and we're going to end with our hardest piece, maybe of the whole night, perhaps. Who knows? But we're very appreciative to be able to showcase all these talents. These students have been working very hard and playing at a very high level, and I feel honored to be able to work with them. So we're going to end our night with one of the masterworks for the concert band, the wind band, and that's called Lincolnshire Posy by a composer named by the name of Percy Granger. Just a little backstory real quickly on this piece. Percy went into the English countryside in the early 1900s with a wax cylinder recording device on his back and basically went into the most remote parts of England and found farmers who could not read but could sing, and recorded them on his wax cylinder singing some sort of folk song. So, way out in the middle of nowhere, people who've probably never been to school, but they could sing, and they sang. So he took those recordings, and you can actually even hear recordings of those original wax cylinder recordings if you search them on YouTube. But he took those and arranged these in a very magical way for concert band, which you will hear. So we'll end off with 4 movements from Lincolnshire Posy. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.